Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your TNA wrestling results and some other wrestling news around the world. James Pitaro, the owner of D2W Pro Wrestling Academy in New Jersey, has offered to train reality child star Honey Boo Boo, aka Alana Thompson, at his facility, where she would be trained in part by TNA star Robbie E. No word on if the family has agreed to the deal yet. And you can read the full story at tmz.com /2012/10/20 Honey Boo Boo invited to train with TNA wrestling star. A little palate cleanser for you here in the middle of the day. I have no idea why a family would allow their 7-year-old to train at a wrestling academy, but I don't understand why this family is on TV to begin with. TNA has announced it will tape 4 episodes of Impact Wrestling as part of their UK tour in January. 2 tapings will be held on January 25th in Manchester, England, and 2 more will be taped the following night, January 26th, at London Wembley Arena. You can get more details at impactwrestling.com /UK tour. So, with that being known, so I guess their live events, their live tapings won't be going on for the month of February. This is a smart move for TNA as the UK crowds are rabid for the product. I hate that the shows won't be live for those 4 weeks, but they should more than make up for it by having a really hot crowd. TNA Knockout Mickie James filmed the music video for her song "Somebody's Gonna Pay" a couple days ago. Former WWE diva and longtime rival Trish Stratus also made a cameo appearance and hits a chick kick on Mickie based on photos that were tweeted, and you can see the photos on www.divadirt.com /2012/10/25 photos Trish and Mickie on set of music video shoot. For those who didn't know, Mickie and Trish had a great run in WWE, with Mickie playing a lesbian stalker. Can't ever see writing that sentence again with the current PG product. Hulk Hogan was denied a temporary restraining order against Gawker.com, meaning that the site can continue to run pieces of the sex tape that they were sent that showed Hogan in bed with the wife of the former friend Bubba the Love Sponge. There will be a hearing on November 8th where the judge could rule a permanent injunction, but that is not expected in light of the ruling. You can read the full story at radaronline.com /exclusives /2012/10 Hulk Hogan denied restraining order against Gawker sex tape clip. The article goes on to state that they know who leaked the tape and that Hogan has known about the tape for 3 years now. To my knowledge, that has not been confirmed by anyone, so take that into consideration. If you have seen it verified from someone outside Radar Online, please let me know. We go right to and now for the TNA Impact Wrestling results for this week, being October 26th results. We go right to Hulk Hogan's office as a Hulkster is thanking Jeff Hardy for taking Impact Wrestling where it's never been gone before. There's 4 contenders tonight, and he's going to pick one, but he wants Hardy to know that he's ready for his first title defense. Hogan wishes Hardy the best of luck and says to get ready since it's Championship Thursday. Hardy walks out into the hallway where his contenders are hanging out and waiting on their audience with Hogan. And we are somehow able to hear Hardy's thoughts as they immediately go into the John Morrison's slow-mo camera action. So this is pre-taped. Hardy, see, as his thoughts that Angle is a machine. Storm drinks too much. Anderson is always going to be an asshole. And Bully is dangerous, but his mind is preoccupied. Jeremy Borash and Todd Kennelly, a new announcer, are the new announcers for the first hour of Impact. And Taz and Mike today will join us for hour 2. Let's go right to the ring for the first title match. X-Division title match, RVD versus Zema Ion. They do a quick back and forth sequence early on, trading drop kicks and takedowns, but neither guy gets an advantage. Another back and forth ends with RVD press slamming Ion. The only time I ever remember seeing him do that. And Ion rolls out to the floor where RVD baseball slides him into the barricade. Ion rams RVD into the barricade and tries to dive of his own. RVD pops up on the apron and spin kicks Ion in the face. Ion ducks a running crossbody and RVD flies over the top rope to the floor, followed closely by Ion as he takes RVD with a somersault dive. Ion springs off the bottom rope as he comes back into the ring and uses a momentum to hit a tornado DDT for a close 2 count. It looked great. Ion gets up top and goes for a spiral tap. I thought this move was cool because I've never seen Ion do this particular move. It's nothing but a twisted kind of a splash type of move. But RVD rolls out of the way and the count is on. RVD with a slingshot thrust kick, rolling thunder, and a 5-star frog splash for the finish. So RVD retains. One would assume that Ion is completely out of his title picture at this point, which I find a little strange given that I thought that the big showdown he eventually has with Jesse Sorensen would be for the title. One way or another, Matt Morgan runs in and takes RVD out with a carbon footprint. Then Joey Ryan slips in and after him and takes the X Division title, dangling it in RVD's face. As Morgan says that Hogan wanted to see a different side of Matt Morgan, but to be careful what you wish for because you're not gonna like it. A-Double is listening outside of Hogan's office, eavesdropping in, saying he doesn't have to do all the lip smacking these guys do since he has a rematch in the bank. He makes fun of Mr. Nanny, then says he's going to hang around outside Hogan's office and get people's reaction after Hogan tosses them out. Next match is Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian come out to the ring, and Kazarian says that they're the victims of conspiracy because Mr. Nanny altered his travel arrangements last week to keep him away from the Impact Zone where he could stand by his partner. And as the fans chant that they suck at Bound for Glory, their titles were taken from them illegally by 2 guys who are probably in this country illegally. Daniel said that they need to slow it down because the fans are a little slow. And he tells Suburban Commando that it's not really Championship Thursday because Zema Ion got his rematch. Miss Tessmacher is getting her rematch, but the best team in the world, who tells the truth and aren't liars or manipulators like Chavo and Hernandez, isn't getting their rematch. Chavo comes out and mentions every member of his family. They need to get the fans to chant like Pavlonian dogs, and Dixie Carter is so determined to court the Spanish-speaking audience that they come out here in ponchos and with Mexican tattoos. He suggests that they go full 9 yards and wear sombreros, drink margaritas, and call themselves Los Stereotypicos. Daniel says that they're done messing around, and Kazarian goes out to ringside with a clipboard to get fans to sign a petition to get them a rematch. Hernandez and Chavo's music plays, and the Los Stereotypicos come out to the ring to say that they'll be happy to sign their petition because nothing would make them happier than to give them a rematch and shove it down the throat. Hernandez shoves both Daniels and Kazarian on their asses, Then they signed a petition because they'll give Daniels and Kazarian a rematch anytime, anyplace. Then we go back to Hogan's office, and as usual, he lets each man plead their case as to why they deserve a title shot. Storm says he'll whoop somebody's ass because he's tired of taking back seats. Bully is still steaming over his brother. Angle says that he'd still be champion if he didn't get hurt, and he wants the title back. And Anderson doesn't know what Hogan wants unless Hogan wants him to grovel at his feet. Hogan says he made it easy, and Anderson is eliminated. A-Double catches him on the way out, and asks him if he didn't train enough or say enough prayers, and he says that he's a better wrestler, better dresser, and even a bigger asshole than Anderson. He throws his water in Anderson's face, and Anderson proceeds to kick his ass, break a table over his head, and proceed to get on top of A-Double and punch him in the face, while Aries goes, "You're a bigger asshole, huh?" Anderson gets up and walks off, and Aries challenges him to a match tonight. Anderson says he's on. Then the director yells, "Cut," as we go to commercial. We get the Aces and Eights clubhouse, where Devon says he's talked to the president, who says that the masks don't come off under any circumstances, since those are their identities. Devon says he brought some ladies so that they can have some good times, like the good old days. But before that, they need to take someone out, and they need to do it tonight. The vice president gets up and throws a dart at the board, who says nothing with the picture of the TNA roster on it. They don't actually show who the dart actually hits, and Devon says it looks like they figured out who their target is tonight. Next match was a TV title match, Samoa Joe versus Robbie T. T powers Joe into the corner, and Joe tears him up with a pair of hard chops. A shoulder block doesn't budge T, and T takes Joe out with a double axe handle before pummeling him with forearms in the corner. Joe responds with forearms of his own, but T hits a leaping spin kick. Wow, he actually is agile and goes for a chokeslam. Joe fights his way out, but T gets him a second time and lifts him up. Joe floats out behind T and gets the coquina clutch. T backs Joe into the corner. Joe gets the hold again, and T fights out again. So Joe jumps onto T's back and gets the hold again. T falls backwards and drops all of his weight on Joe to break the hold. But Samoa Joe goes right back into the coquina clutch, and T taps out. We look back at Tara beating Miss Tessmacher for the knockout title at Bound for Glory. Then we go to Tessmacher as she says she couldn't wait to get their hands on Tara so she can win the title and send Tara and Jesse back to the D-list where they belong. Back to Hogan's office as he asks Angle what he thinks of Bubba. Angle says he thinks Bubba is too focused on his brother, and he understands it, but he'd want to kick his brother's ass. Storm says he got stabbed in the back by his brother, and he doesn't think that Bubba is focused on the title match anyways, but Bubba says he sure is focused on his brother, and he wants to get a hold of him and get some answers out of him. Hogan says that they just gave him the answer he needs, and tells Bubba to go take care of his brother. So he's eliminated. We go somewhere in the back, and Mr. Anderson is yelling at some guy, presumably the director we heard before, and says he's sick of Aries walking around like some kind of peacock. And since Hogan says it's okay to go get him right now. Ooh, Anderson's already in the ring as we come back from commercial. That's not a good sign. So we get Mr. Kenny Anderson versus Mr. A-Double, Aries. Anderson takes Aries to the corner, start off, breaks clean, and goes, "Come on, bitch." Well, I guess we know his mindset. Aries takes Anderson to the ropes and takes a swing, but Anderson blocks and drills him back. sending Aries scurrying out to the floor. Aries takes a long count to break the momentum, then comes in and takes Anderson to the corner, shoving him on the break and getting drilled in the face in return. Anderson gets on top of Aries and drills him with more punches, but Aries rolls out to the floor to avoid an elbow drop. He again takes a walk to break Anderson's momentum, then comes back in and catches a back elbow to the face. Anderson pulls brass knucks out of his tights and stares at them for a brief moment, and Aries swoops in and nails Anderson before he decides what to do. Okay, it looks like Aries planted the knucks on Anderson, and I missed it. Regardless, Anderson goes back to unloading on Aries, but winds up getting dumped out to the floor when Aries takes him out with a heat-seeking missile through the ropes as we go to commercial. Back from the commercial, and Aries is beating Anderson up in the corner. Anderson starts firing back and whips Aries hard into the corner, but charges right into his boot and is down again. Aries with a knee drop to the back of the head for 2, then he drills Anderson with the forearms but gets turned inside out with a clothesline. Anderson with more on back elbows and a discus clothesline, followed by a rolling neck breaker. Aries blocks a Finley roll, misses a roaring elbow, and gets nailed with a spinning enziguri from Anderson that sends Aries out to the floor. Anderson comes over the top rope and takes Aries out with a crossbody, then rolls Aries inside and covers for a 2 count. Anderson tries another Finley roll again, but Aries holds on to the referee and falls on top of him. He gets the brass knucks out of the referee's pocket and goes after Anderson with them, but Anderson knocks the knucks and the referee sees them and takes them out of his hand. While the referee is busy disposing of the knucks again, Aries takes another set of knucks out of his tights and drills Anderson with them. Then pulls Anderson on top of him and magically kicks out at 2. Anderson is out cold, and Aries quickly gets him in the last entry, and the referee stops the match when he sees that Anderson is out. So a double wins by knockout. Tara and Jesse are backstage telling Brooke Hogan about how many tomato baths they have had to take after getting touched by ODB last week. Brooke tells Tara to get to the ring for her title defense, but tells Jesse to stay put and to watch out because she heard ODB had an eye on him. Mike, Tenay, and Tara take over commentary as we go into hour number 2 for the next title match, the knockout title, Tara versus Brooke. Tessmacher. Jesse came out with Tara anyways, but Brooke kicks Tara on her way into the ring and starts kicking the crap out of her. She hits a snapmare and connects with a repeated indy kicks to the back before slamming Tara's face into the mat repeatedly. Jesse gets up on the ring apron and takes his shirt off to distract Brooke and allows Tara to nail her from behind. Tara goes after her and rams Brooke's face into the apron, then rolls her back inside and slams Brooke's face into the mat several times before gouging her at her face. Tara stops to make out with Jesse, then goes back working over Brooke. Brooke starts coming back, but Jesse pulls the ropes open as Brooke runs into them, and Brooke goes to the outside. Jesse rolls Brooke back into the ring, and Tara hits the Widow's Peak for the win. Tara and Jesse then make out a bunch, and then Brooke Hogan's music plays, and she comes out to tell Tara that next week is open fight night, and she just got off the phone with a very feisty ODB who wants to challenge Jesse to a match. Jesse looks really unhappy at this and cowers at Tara's feet. Bully Ray is backstage and he's walking. Joseph Park comes into Hulk Hogan's office and to set up a match follow-up on their meeting last week. And Hogan doesn't want to let him get in the ring with aces and eights, but Park says Hogan wasn't the one who was denied his basic human rights. Hogan said he's responsible for everyone who works there, and Park hands him a contract and says that he's free to do whatever he needs. too, and tells Hogan to help him if he wants, and otherwise just stay out of his way. Bully Ray comes out to the ring and says he's been in the business for over 20 years and nothing shocks him anymore. But when the mask came off and we found out that Devon was behind aces and eights, he was shocked. Devon said a bunch of nothing last week. So he tells Devon to come out and tell him why he did what he did, face to face. Devon comes out with the entire group in tow and hides behind him as he says he doesn't owe Bubba an explanation at all. They are no longer a team, that they're no longer a family. They're nothing. Devon did what he did 2 years ago, and he did what he did enough said because it has nothing to do with Bubba. It all has to do with Hogan. Crowd starts "You sold out" chants because he said he wanted Devon back because he's such a great wrestler and a great champion, but he never called or texted Devon. Hogan and Dixie did back because it did nothing for him when he was down and out. And it was the Aces and Eights who had his back and picked him up. It didn't end there, and when everything is said and done, they'll take out each of the people who wronged them one by one. He tells Bubba to go home and leave it be because it's done and Bubba isn't even a threat anymore. Bubba says it's over when he says it's over. And as far as what he did to Devon 2 years ago, Devon knows exactly why he did it, and it's between them. Devon is kicked out. Devon is hiding behind aces and eights and is a lying sack of crap because they have planned to retire as champions. But Chris Sabin kicked out of their finish, and nobody ever kicked out of their finish, ever. But Sabin kicked out on Devon. The part nobody knew that nobody ever thought Devon would tell the world is that when Bubba had his head down and felt like crap, Bubba will never forget that Devon asked him what the big deal was because they're rich and to screw the fans. Bubba tells Devon to go ahead and deny he has said it. Devon said it is true. It says to screw these idiots because he doesn't care about them. But Bubba says that they're doing too much talking since they were always about fighting. So he tells Devon to get rid of the guys, and they're hiding behind him so that they cannot fight, so that they can fight right now. Devon says no because it's not on Bubba's time, and to get his head out of his ass because the world doesn't revolve around him. Devon then says he's going home, and Aces and Eights heads to the back. Bubba said this is so typical of Devon because he's a coward who hid behind him, and he had no balls. Then he said he had no balls now. Bubba tells Devon to do himself a favor because next week is open fight night, and Bubba doesn't have to think about it because he's challenging Devon. Somebody's going to get their ass kicked, and somebody's going through a table. The mystery cameraman catches up backstage with Matt Morgan and Joey Ryan, who say that the rules don't apply to them, and maybe it's time to get some X Division gold around his waist. Morgan said that Hogan's days of holding him down are over, and Matt Morgan will do what he wants, where he wants, and when he wants, and dares Hogan to try and stop him. Then we look at this month's contestant in the gut check, and it's Christian York. I did not see this segment here. How about that? He says he's been wrestling for 16 years and had a chance at TNA 10 years ago. And he teamed with Joey Matthews and watched him go to OVW and wind up on TV. And wishes that they have been able to do it forever. He knows he's not getting any younger and needs to make his mark. And he plans to do it next week in the gut check. Hogan is backstage with Jane Storm and Kurt Angle, and he says that the Storm has been through a war, and he has a big plan for him, but that Angle is getting the title shot tonight. Hogan tells Storm they need to talk as Angle makes his way out to the Impact Zone for the main event. World title match, Jeff Hardy versus Kurt Angle. Angle takes he started off the match, Angle taking Hardy to the corner and got a clean break. Then they tie up again in the middle of the ring with a collar and elbow tie up. And Hardy took Angle down with an arm drag. Basic wrestling to start off. Hardy bars the arm and Angle gets to his feet and takes Hardy to the corner for a reversal. But this time he drills him in the jaw and Hardy goes down like a ton of bricks. Angle continued to work Hardy over in the corner, but Hardy came off. He came back with a stomping Angle down in the corner and hits the springboard basement drop kick in the corner. Angle tries coming off the second rope, but leaps right into an inverted atomic drop. Then Hardy does a double leg takedown basement drop kick, double leg drop to the crotch combo for 2. Angle responds by crouching Hardy on the top rope and charging him with a forearm that sends Hardy tumbling out to the floor as we go to the first commercial break. We're back and both men are wiping each other out with double clothesline. Hardy recovers first and dumps Angle out to the floor and then wipes him out with a clothesline off the apron. Then they go back inside with Hardy hitting the Whisperer and a win for a 2 count. Angle blocks the twist of fate and gets hit with a trio of rolling German suplexes for a 2. Angle goes for the hacker slam, but Hardy countered to the twist of fate and goes up top for the swanton. He takes about 6 years to get up there and gives enough time for Angle to pop up to the top rope and hits a release suplex for a 2. Angle power bombs Hardy for a 2 and catches Hardy in the ankle lock on the kick out. Hardy rolls through and hits an inverted enziguri. Then he goes back up top and goes for the swanton, but Angle rolls out of the way and Hardy crashes and burns. Angle hits a hacker slam and covers for a 2 count. He goes for another German suplex, but Hardy shoves him off and hits 2 twists of fate, which is nothing but kind of like a stunner. Then goes back up and hits the swanton, but only gets a 2 count. Wow, a hell of a match so far. And the crowd is really into it, too. Angle backdrops Hardy out to the floor and immediately goes and rolls Hardy back inside. The straps come down and Angle goes for another hacker slam, but Hardy shifts his weight and comes out behind Angle, rolling him up for the 3 count. The referee in this match was actually telling him telling either to hurry it up, because it was getting close to going into a third hour, because there was like 3 minutes. But, okay, you got 1 minute of time remaining. Let's end it. Okay, well, that's where it ends. Great match. These guys really kicked ass out there. Speaking of kicking ass, A-Double runs in and knocks out Hardy. Then gets a mic and said all the pairs of eyes he has, he thought he'd have some in the back of his head. He says that he'll cash in his rematch at Turning Point, not for the Hardy belt, but for the World Championship he had. Hardy's going back to the outhouse, and Aries is headed back to the penthouse, so he says. And he's so confident that he's going to win at Turning Point that he's taking the original title belt with him for safekeeping, kidnapping it. Wait a minute, something's going on in the back. Aces and Eights is kicking the crap out of Kurt Angle. And then they run off when Wes Brisco and Garrett Bischoff come in and chase him off. Wes Brisco yells for help for Angle as they end the show. And for those that don't know, Wes Brisco has been ill for about a week. He's been in the hospital, according to his dad that works with WWE. And that's all that I have for this week. Thanks for watching. Peace out. God bless.